Hi guys, welcome back to Leiloandoideias. Today I have a very special video. It's my very first Natasha Denona palette. I just bought the brand new Natasha Denona Glam Palette. It was released a couple days ago and I bought it while I was drunk after a Zoom call. It was a Zoom happy hour and I thought it was a good idea to buy it. And honestly, I don't regret it because I'm gonna use it. When I saw the first video, the first swatches that she posted on her Instagram, it really spoke to me. So zero regrets over here. But yes, so it arrived today. I bought it on Wednesday and it's super reflective. As I mentioned, it's my very first. I have 4 individual shadows from Natasha Denona. One I got at Sephora last year, and the other 3 I got as samples from Sephora purchases. And I always wanted one of like the big $129 palettes, but it's hard to commit when it's $129. This one was it's retailing for $65, and then with taxes it came out to $71. I am in love with this palette already. One of the things that I like the most is how she labeled the shades, because instead of having your usual random names for shades that sometimes don't even make sense, she labeled them according to how she would use them on a lid. So they're labeled centered eyelid, outer eyelid, inner corner, crease, transition, smoke, blend, lash line, inner corner, centered lid, outer lid, center lid, outer lid, and brow bone. And yes, it can get a little confusing if you're trying to make a YouTube tutorial and saying, you know, calling out the shades that you are using. But if you are a regular person and you look at it and you don't really like know how to use this is really helpful. And I think if more brands sold their palettes like this, it would be really helpful for a lot of people. Let's talk a little bit about this palette. I already told you how much it retails for. So this palette has 15 shades, cool and neutral warm shades, and the shades are matte, metallic, and sparkling finishes. I used the palette today to create my eye look. I have never worked with any of the matte shades that Natasha has. I've only had some sparkly ones, I think like glitter and sparkly shades, and to be honest, from the 4 shades that I have at home, I only used 1. From what I've heard, I always heard that though her matte shades, the formula was amazing, it was really easy to blend, and that was also my experience. While I was doing the swatches, I felt like those shades, they kind of fell apart in pieces. It was really hard to swatch them, but in the end of the day, that's not the goal. The goal is for you to apply on your eyelids and to wear it, not to be like walking around swatching your arms and showing it to people. It is like most of her formulas that I've heard of, it has a lot of like residue. Once you pick it up, it does it kind of gets all over the place, but that's not a problem. And well, it kind of saddens me because I feel like it's just gonna go faster. I'm just gonna go finish this palette faster, but in the end of the day, it's always really hard to finish eyeshadow palette, especially if you're like me and you have way too many at this point. Aside from the naming of the shades, I think there were here the color scheme. I think it was one of the things that really attract me, because it's something that it's so neutral and it's so beautiful, and you can make like very day-to-day looks, and it's nothing like, this is a palette that has shades that I would use all of the shades, even just to do a day-to-day look. It's not something that has like one pop of like very bright color that I would never touch, or that has that one color that doesn't really like go with my skin tone and it would just, you know, not show up or anything. That's probably why I ended up like, you know, my consciousness, I was like, okay, this is good, okay, you can use this. Even when I was drunk, I had that in my mind that this was gonna be a good palette for me. So I ended up using a few shades. I really wanted to try to use the crease, even though it's really hard for me because of how my lids are. It's really hard for me to use a crease shade. So I did use the crease shade, which is the only crease shade in the pan, which is easier for you to know which one I'm talking about. And then on the outer lid, I used the smoke shade. And on the lash line, I used the lash line shade, which is great, guys. And then on top of the smoke shade, I applied the very first outer eyelid, this one here from the top. And then I really wanted to use the center lid, this gold one, because it looked so beautiful when I swatched it, when I saw the swatch. So I applied that one right in the middle, right in the center of my eyes. And then another one that looked beautiful on the swatch was this third one here, inner corner, and so I applied that one. And I think that also their website says that that one can be used as a topper, so it kind of is a little, it doesn't really have kind of like a background to it. That's not the term, but I apologize, because you guys know I'm like big on makeup. So it can definitely be used as a topper, but it has like a beautiful shift. Oh my God, when the light hits that shade, it's just so mesmerizing. It's so beautiful. And then I also use this middle here, inner corner, to put it on my, in the corner of my eyes. And then of course I swatched all the shades as you guys saw. And so far, I've only tried this once. I've only tried it right now just to make this video. But so far, my thoughts are the crease shade, it blends well. And even though when I was doing the swatches, it was kind of like patchy, it was having like pieces falling apart, it blended really well. And I can tell it's very buildable. And I didn't apply like a lot right away, so I applied very little, and then I tried to like build it up, and it was building up pretty nicely. And I do think, for example, I tried the center eyelid, the gold one, with brush first, and it doesn't give you the same payoff. And I've heard several times that Natasha likes to apply shades with her fingers, and that she makes the formula to be used like that. And once I applied with my fingers, that's when I got the best payoff out of that golden shade for sure. It was definitely not the same with just a brush. And I just think that personally, this is a palette that I am going to reach out for a lot, because I'm going to reach for a lot because it is the colors are very day-to-day, at least for me. That's why I think that this was a good purchase. And I'm not sitting here trying to convince myself that it was a good purchase, because I already know it was a good purchase, at least in my heart. But I just really like how this look came out. And I also like the size of the palette, because it's not one of those huge ones where you cannot like find a place to, you know, store it, or it's really hard to find a place to put. And I'm sure most of you guys know that some of these Natasha Denona palettes, you can swap the shades. So if you want to swap any shade that is in here, this is why they have the holes in the back. So there is a way for you to swap the shades from the pan, and then you just have to make sure that the shades you're swapping for are the same size pan, because I think that $129 palettes, the pans are a little bigger than this one. But that's also clutch, because if there's just like one shade you don't want, or one shade you don't like, and then you have a single shade from her, that a different palette or something, you can just mix and match and kind of make it your own. So that's very unique, and that's awesome. I do think that this is gonna get dirty really, really fast, but it's still better than some of the NARS product packagings, where it's kind of like just gets super dirty. Overall, I think that at least when I was looking into my collection, it's something that doesn't really double up with anything that I have. and of course it's an investment. It's $65. So if you're thinking about it, maybe a good idea is to take a look at pictures, take a look at swatches, and see if it's something that, you know, maybe you don't have in your collection already, or, you know, maybe it's something that really talks to you or speaks to you. I didn't feel like any of the other ones, the $65 ones, really spoke to me. The last one that I saw, I kind of considered getting, but this one, like the first moment that I saw it, was like, this is beautiful. Oh my God. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is just, you know, like basically to show you guys how it looks when it's not swatched by Natasha herself on her Instagram. And if you like this kind of videos, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.